the Teen Titans is one of the few aspects of the DC universe I'd really hope to see going forward once James Gunn and Peter Safran's like 8 to 10 year plan kind of solidifies into like, you know, their live action depictions, and like maybe like years on into the future when their core Justice League members are like set in stone and further established, then you can kind of branch off into their more, I guess, family extended members, like, you know, Bat Family or like other superhero type characters, but like their sidekicks. And I think that'd be the perfect opportunity to have their solo movies kind of branch off and lead into a Teen Titans film. And I think, you know, if they were to enact on that, they could possibly do, because I don't think Marvel or the MCU as of right now is doing anything with Young Avengers. They might do it in the future. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you have like a Young Avengers like spin-off film, like a Disney Plus show. But I think the DC universe is more, I guess, well known, and like a lot of their younger superheroes are more popular in terms of teams, whether it's like the Teen Titans, you know, through the cartoon, or Young Justice. And I think that the new DCU or DC universe could really inspire off of that. And I think, you know, with their core roster as well, would be based on whoever the main focus is of this new universe. So my assumption would be, you know, the Trinity, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and possibly like maybe like Green Arrow or whatnot. And I think you just have their sidekicks trying to just lead up to a team up movie. You know, I guess like the premise could be like, oh, the Justice League is up in space dealing with like Mongol or something, and then, you know, you have Earth's Defenders with the Teen Titans. Or you could just do something based off of the comic books. You know, you just like several runs you could do based off of like the OG Titans or like the new Teen Titans, with more akin to like the more popular roster Batman with like Robin, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven, and like, you know, Starfire and all that. But, you know, I think for like the first film, you like to differentiate from the other live action adaptation of the Titans, which was like the Titan show. Even though they may or may not have similar roster, I think that focusing on a younger team during like their teenage years and kind of having more akin to their comic book counterparts in terms of personality and tone is the best way to differentiate from them. So I guess like with the first up, obviously you have to have Robin, you know, Dick Grayson. It would probably kind of be like, maybe he's like an older Robin, like closer to becoming Nightwing, like he's like finally finding his footing and stepping out of Batman's shadow, and, you know, kind of solidifying that role, becoming his own hero. I think that's really vital. As Dick Grayson, I made a video before saying how like I think Dick Grayson deserves a solo movie, and how he's really integral to like the heart and soul of the DC universe. And I think like if you were to make maybe like another Wonder Woman 3 or whatever, regardless if it's Gal Gadot or not, that I think that'd be a cool way to, in like go down the road, it would be a really cool way to introduce Donna Troy, like Wonder Girl, in there in the roster as well, and kind of, I guess, you know, introduce the audience to more of Wonder Woman's lore, and kind of introduce more like gods and monsters, and really dive into like, the Greek mythology aspect of Wonder Woman. One of the things that like really makes her cool in the comics is like kind of her fighting abilities, her like warrior instinct, and just how she encounters those battles. And then I think, because like kind of goes hand in hand of like my ideal roster for the Justice League, you know, kind of, you know, connects with the Teen Titans. And then one of the characters I wanted in the Justice League was Green Arrow, and then with that, you know, with his own solo movies, spin-off movies, and you really establish the character, you can get Roy Harper, Speedy. I think, you know, obviously there was the Arrow show that like kind of had their own version of like the Arrow family, like he had his own team, and, you know, a team of vigilantes that kind of did their own thing, and one of those was Roy Harper as Arsenal, and I think him as Speedy would really be a really cool integral part of the Teen Titans. Because like this roster so far is just like the OG like Teen Titans, like before like the Marvel and George Perez like roster that's the most well known. And, you know, with that you could probably, and then I think one of the more integral parts of that would be Wally West Flash. You know, you get your own solo Flash movie, which I would assume wouldn't be Ezra Miller anymore. It'd be weird if they kept him, but, you know, you can do that, introduce more of the Flash family, and then that being Wally West. And whether or not he takes over the mantle as the main Flash or not, you know, is, I guess, up to James Gunn or whoever would be, I guess, center stage in the Flash storyline. But you could have like Kid Flash in there, and then obviously you can have like Aqualad if you wanted to, with, you know, being like the Aquaman mythos, or I guess the Aquaman center of the DC universe, because it seems like Jason Momoa actually has no intentions of leaving the role of Aquaman. You know, he's because there's that report from Variety how like he stated how the rumors of him leaving Aquaman necessarily weren't really true. Like he still was gonna play Aquaman, so I guess him playing Lobo and Aquaman is a possibility as well. But yeah, I guess that's just like the core roster, like the first introductory roster of that. You know, you have like Robin, Kid Flash, Speedy, Wonder Girl, and Aqualad, and then from there on you can introduce other characters as well into that roster, because it's like ever growing roster, kind of like the Justice League. You know, then you'd add in like maybe Raven, Starfire, Beast Boy, or you could do like a Young Justice kind of route with their roster as well. There's just so many possibilities you could do with that, and then the villains they can encounter with Trigon, with the Hive, and then Deathstroke, which I think would be a really cool opportunity to introduce Deathstroke in that universe if they weren't going to do the Ben Affleck movie route where Deathstroke was going to fight Batman. But yeah, it's just one of the few possibilities in the DC universe. I think it'd be a really cool addition to further enhance their universe.